What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, and I'm here with another video. Today, we are talking about a Greek historian and what they saw when they went to Africa. Okay, this is white supremacy, pre-colonization. We're going to take a deep dive into it. I'm just going to play the intro, and yeah, we'll get into that.
Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
Okay, y'all, so we're back. Again, I'm doing this video on this Greek historian. His name is Diodorus Siculus. Is it Sicily, or is that where he's from? We'll get into it. I'm doing this video because people think that I'm lying. People think that I'm lying. Like I made this up. No, I came across this story. Not this story. I'm actually reading the book When God Was a Woman. And it's a book that talks about matriarchies and societies that had women at the top. They were way more common pre-colonialism, pre-colonization, especially in Africa. And this historian, all he did was document what he saw. So we're going to get into it because people are acting like I'm making this up or it's not true. People are still holding on to tropes that women don't have the capability to run a society, to build a society, which is just simply ridiculous. And I have dedicated myself recently to pretty much destroying that lie. It irritates me so much now, especially because I know so much more. And yeah, so I actually have a presentation. We're going to go into this Greek historian. And we're going to talk about who he is and what exactly he saw, okay? There's evidence of this. As a lot of matriarchal societies, the evidence has been destroyed. Much like Black history, it was removed, taken, stolen, rewritten, repackaged, because they don't want women coming together. They don't want women understanding who they are. The oppression of women was a thing even prior to, the oppression of both men and women. Women have been treated as property for quite some time. And I do think there is a reason why. I also think there are spiritual ramifications going on right now because of what has happened. I do feel like we are in a world that is in disorder. I do think we should be egalitarian. I do believe in a matriarchal construct. This video is not about that, though. Maybe I'll do another video on that. If you want me to get more into it, leave a comment below. And I'll think about making that video. But we're going to get into this one right now. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. So you guys, did you know that a Greek historian once documented entire nations ruled by women in Africa? Okay. Not a myth, not a legend, real matriarchal societies where women led armies, ruled cities, and controlled sacred temples. His name was Diodorus Siculus. Okay. I think he was also went by Diodorus of Sicily. This is this guy right here, okay? And what he saw during his travels in Libya and Ethiopia might really just rewrite everything we think we know about power, gender, and history, which is exactly why they do not want us to have it, ladies, okay? So who was this guy? Diodorus was a historian from the ancient Sicily who lived in the 1st century BCE. He wrote Bibliotheca Historica, Bibliotheca Historica, a 40-volume world history meant to preserve the stories and the systems of civilizations across Africa, Europe, and Asia. And he didn't just write about kings and conquests. He described societies most of us never learned about, especially where the women were in charge, okay? So this guy, we can kind of trust his accounts. There was really no like nefarious intent. He was simply just documenting what he saw on his travels. There was no intention of whether things should be patriarchy or matriarchy. He was just documenting what he was seeing. Okay. So one of the things that he wrote about was the Libyan Amazons, or otherwise known as the Libyan Queens. So in Libya, Diodorus describes a nation of women warriors, the Amazons. Not the mythologized Greek version, okay, but an actual society where women held military and political power. These women established colonies, they trained in warfare, and they ruled over men. He wrote that men played secondary roles, okay, sometimes only allowed to remain in society as either laborers or reproductive partners. He didn't mock them, okay? I just want to make that clear. He was not there to mock them. He was not there to judge them. He simply documented how he saw them, what he saw in these societies. I honestly believe that what he documented led to colonization. This is how they learned how the societies run so that they could infiltrate and implement colonization, white supremacy, and the patriarchy. But so we have the Libyan queens. Sorry, y'all, I need some water. Give me a moment.
Hey, you guys, it's your girl, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy. And I am just here to remind you, please like, share, comment, subscribe, okay? Click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos or any new lives, okay? I will be coming here with more and more information. So please, you don't want to miss out. And this is just a quick reminder and a quick thank you because it's a free way to support the channel and to support me. I love y'all.
Sorry about that. I just needed some water. So again, where I left off, he wasn't mocking them. He documented them. In book 3 of his history, he actually describes the women of as extraordinary in stature and unmatched in courage. Okay, he didn't see these people as barbaric rebels. They were very organized, very strategic, legitimate rulers in their own domains. Okay. So he also talks about Ethiopia, right? Ethiopia priestesses and their sacred women. So another region that often erased from ancient feminist discourse, as I was quoted from the book When God Was a Woman. So their women actually held high religious offices, some of them presiding over temples and sacred rites. In some accounts, they were considered divine mediators between the gods and the people. This is powerful when you realize these accounts predate the full spread of patriarchal Abrahamic religion, where men would later dominate priesthoods and spiritual leadership. In fact, the Bible actually doesn't allow women to be allowed to participate. Even I don't know much about Islam, but I know that they don't pray together. As far as another Abrahamic religion. And in Christianity, they're very limited in what women can participate and do. Women definitely have the secondary role, don't have much say. It's come a long way, but traditionally, women weren't even allowed or seen as people in the sense of that could connect to God, could understand God, or anything of that nature. So he talked about the women in Ethiopia and what he saw there. And it's funny because Ethiopia is very Christian. The Greeks actually, they went to Ethiopia and they brought Christianity there. And many people were like, oh, Ethiopia was never colonized. And someone in my comment section made a great point saying that they didn't need to be colonized. They openly welcomed Christianity and participated in wanting to convert and change things as far as being matriarchal to patriarchal. So why didn't we learn this, right? We didn't learn this in school. Greek historians, they documented these cultures, and yet they're treated as myths and often created in myths, like the Greek mythological Amazon stories, right? These societies, though, they worshipped goddesses and revered female wisdom. Political and religious power often united in women's hands. This balance was shattered by the patriarchal conquest and later suppressed in history because knowledge is power. And that's why I want to talk about these things. I'll be doing more videos like this. I want to do a series called Women in Men's Fields because, again, I see these comments when I talk about these things, and it's, oh, women didn't contribute anything to building society. Women couldn't run the world without men. These ignorant statements. And I want to change that narrative. I want to be someone who changes that narrative. I don't want to just go along with it. I feel like as long as we allow that rhetoric to continue, we will continue to be oppressed as women. And those of us who do have rights should really stand up and learn the history, at least, and embolden the people around you to know and learn. And if you can't do that, find people who are like-minded. Like over here on this channel, I'm finding people who are like-minded and very much interested in decentering men, decentering the patriarchy, and learning about yourself, learning how to navigate through it to like the best of your ability in a way that makes you happy, so that you can live your best goddess self, right? Because if you're going to believe in anybody, ladies, believe in yourself, okay? So why does this matter today is what I kind of want to talk about. I kind of went into it, but they really respected these women, even though that so much so that they had to overthrow them, right? But so we should. And that's one of the things that bothered me so much about when I do talk about these things and I get these ignorant comments about women and how they feel we are so incapable. And I'm like, it's 2025. Are we still so ignorant? And the answer is yes, right? But if we want to deconstruct patriarchy, we have to remember what came before it, right? We have to learn the history. And I think that is pretty much what this channel is going to be about from now on. It's going to be challenging these patriarchal ideas. We're going to be deconstructing the patriarchy, which for me is deconstructing Christianity, because that was the form of patriarchy that was embedded in me. I did grow up in church. I was born into Christian religion. And as someone who is now deconstructing patriarchy, I'm now realizing all the things that came from Christianity, which is why I'm so much of a critic of the religion. So we're going to keep digging, okay? We're going to remember, we're going to learn, we're going to upgrade ourselves to become our best selves. And however that looks to you, it looks to you, right? I don't want to be a place of judgment of other women either, even though there's a lot to learn from other women, especially as we learn to navigate with this mindset, which is not as common as I thought originally. So I have this quote. In very ancient times, in many parts of the world, women were the religious and civil rulers of their people. I want us to remember that. I feel like many of us, if you believe in reincarnation, which I'm not sure what to believe. I'm an agnostic atheist, okay? I'm not sure what to believe. I'm not saying here or there. But if we are on a different cycle, I definitely would want to come back as a woman every time, a Black woman at that. And I feel like we carry this in our genes. The memories are there. We just have to unlock them. And the way to unlock them is to learn about them. But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. If you are reclaiming your divine feminine truth, you are welcome here. And I love y'all.
I've been seeing that like hating men is becoming like a trend, and that is my culture, and please do not make my culture just one of the trends that you guys do, because that stuff means a lot. Like, hating on men is a lot to like me, so take it seriously, please.
I love that video. Y'all have a great day. Join me for my live tomorrow where I'm having a little Sunday revival. We're going to be deconstructing Christianity. I hope to see and speak to many of you soon. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. I'll be doing more like this. Yeah, ciao. Later.